Get on camera and apologize to those girls. That's what needs to happen. Not only does it stop there, you need to get your ass on camera with whoever else the other owner is, and y'all need to talk about the assault that took place to a Caitlin Clark fan who was spit in the face by a Seattle Storm fan. Unprovoked. You guys need to be getting on camera and addressing that. How about that? This is...
Watch that body language. Notice how security responds when they're told who the aggressor is. That hesitation, that change in tone. That's the moment they realize they can't handle this the way they would with any other fan. Because this isn't just a rowdy spectator who crossed the line. This is a co-owner of the Seattle Storm. And what you just witnessed is the exact moment the rules changed. Here's what happened at Climate Pledge Arena on game night. Two 16-year-old girls, Anali and her friend, were sitting in their seats holding signs supporting Sophie Cunningham and the Indiana Fever. Standard fan behavior at any sporting event in America. Then a woman approached them. Not security, not an usher, but a spectator. She got in their faces, started cursing at them, brought up religion without provocation, and told them she hoped God could forgive them for what they'd done. The girls started crying. They're 16 years old, being verbally assaulted by an adult woman at a basketball game.
So at this point, I go over to security again, and there's another male security guard who was perfectly nice to us and knew the situation that had happened. And I go to him and I say, hey, you know, that woman sitting next to Sue Bird is the woman who made the girls cry. And he's like, which one? You know, and he's looking, and I'm like, the one white, whatever. And he says, oh, that's a co-owner of the team. Her name is Celeste Keaton. There she is. The woman on the left is co-owner.
Now, here's where this gets complicated. The person documenting all of this is Brandi Cruz from Undivided. She has a platform. She understands how the media works, and she's responsible for these teenage athletes who came to watch a basketball game. She does exactly what she's supposed to do. She finds security. She reports the incident. She points out the woman who made two children cry. And that's when security drops the bomb. Oh, that's a co-owner of the team? Think about what that response implies. Not we'll handle it, or we'll escort her out, or that's unacceptable behavior. Just an identification, as if knowing who someone is explains why the rules don't apply to them, as if ownership status creates immunity from the fan code of conduct that every other person in that arena has to follow. The WNBA's own fan code of conduct is crystal clear. Any in-arena comments using profanity? Violation. Comments that are offensive, abusive, disparaging, or demeaning? Violation. Discriminatory comments based on religious beliefs? Violation. The code doesn't have an asterisk that says, unless you're rich enough to own part of the team.
So you and your wife need to come out. You and your wife need to come out and address this on camera. Your little 5-game suspension where you get to hide away is not enough. That's not enough.
So I'm like, okay. So there's actually video of me talking to security, because I go over and I'm like, I'm responsible for these girls.
She has video proof.
And I go over to security and I'm telling them, and they were nice, right? But they say, oh, that's the co-owner of the team. And I say, okay, and? I'm thinking, why does it matter? You can't do, I don't care if you're the co-owner, Sue Bird.
Security tells Brandi Cruz to write a letter to the team. Let that sink in. Write a letter to the team about the team's co-owner. You see the problem here? Who exactly is that letter going to? Who is going to enforce consequences when the person who violated the code of conduct is literally one of the people running the organization? This is where the power dynamic becomes impossible to ignore. If any regular fan had gotten up from their seat, walked across the arena, and verbally harassed two teenage girls until they cried, security would have ejected them immediately, no questions asked. They would have been escorted out of the building, possibly banned from future games. And depending on what was said, law enforcement might have become involved. That's the standard. That's what happens when someone crosses the line at a professional sporting event. But Celeste Keaton wasn't ejected. She walked back to her courtside seat next to Sue Bird and watched the rest of the game. The only reason any of this became public is because Brandi Cruz has a media platform and she knew how to use it. She shared the story with receipts, video evidence, and specific details about what happened and how security responded. She forced the WNBA's hand.
Conduct. So I'm like, can't we do something about this right now? I mean, security had basically said, if you find this woman, let us know. Well, I found her. Sorry that she happens to be the co-owner of the team, but she cursed out two 16-year-olds. I'm like, can we do something about it? And then one of the security guards says, well, you could go up, there's an office up here, you could go up and talk to him. And the male security guard says, you know, the best course of action is probably just to write a letter to the team. So they're telling me to write a letter to the team, okay?
Write a letter to the team, and it's the
And here's what makes this even worse. This wasn't the only hostile incident that night. Brandy Cruz documents another moment. One of the teenage athletes with her, Callie Keeler, gets up to check on Emily while she's crying. Two other Storm fans try to trip her as she walks by. Then they laugh about it. This isn't one bad apple having a bad night. This is a pattern of behavior where opposing fans are being targeted and harassed, and it's happening with the implicit approval of the building's ownership. The WNBA issued its response, a 5-game suspension for Celeste Catone. She can't attend the next 5 home games. Let's break down why that's completely inadequate. First, owners don't attend every game anyway. They pick and choose based on their schedule, the opponent, and whether it's convenient. So, suspending an owner from 5 games isn't the same as suspending a player or even a season ticket holder. It's barely an inconvenience. Second, there's no public apology required, no press conference, no statement directly from Catone to the girls she made cry or to the fans who witnessed this behavior. The WNBA issued a statement on her behalf that's not accountability, that's damage control.
Sophie, thank you, Sophie, for speaking up. And so we were holding on, just watching the game again, and then it was like, Jesus loves everyone. That's what she told us. And I was like, oh, I know. I'm religious. I know. I know. Nice. Yeah. And she's like, oh, I hope Jesus can forgive you for what sin you've done. And something like
God can say.
Now, okay, now I played this in another video, so I'm gonna get to. I want to hear her finish.
So
hold on 1 second. Let me get to it. All right, here we go.
That are discriminatory toward people based on their religious beliefs is against the rules. Well, they brought up God. Oh, I hope your God forgives you. Any in-arena comments?
Let's talk about what should have happened here. Celeste Catone should have been suspended from all Storm home games for the remainder of the season, not 5 games the rest of the season. If you want to show that ownership doesn't create immunity, that's how you do it. Apply the same standard you apply to any fan who verbally abused children at your arena. She should have faced a significant financial penalty, not a slap on the wrist fine, but a substantial amount that actually matters even to someone wealthy enough to own a WNBA team. Money that goes directly to organizations supporting new sports or anti-bullying initiatives. Make the punishment mean something. And most importantly, she needs to face the cameras and apologize directly, not through a league statement, not through a PR firm. Celeste Catone needs to stand in front of a microphone and address what she did. Apologize to Annalai. Apologize to her friend. Apologize to Brandy Cruz for putting her in an impossible situation. Apologize to every parent who brings their child to a Storm game expecting a safe environment. But it doesn't stop with Catone. The Storm organization needs to address the alleged assault that happened in their building. A Caitlin Clark fan was reportedly spit on by a Storm fan. Where's the statement about increased security? Where's the announcement explaining how they're going to prevent this from happening again? Where's the acknowledgement that their building became hostile toward opposing fans?
That are offensive, abusive, disparaging, demeaning, are strictly against the rules, and they violate the WNBA's fan code of conduct. So what happens when the co-owner of the team violates the WNBA's fan code of conduct and gets her old ass up and hobbles across the freaking floor to harass 2 16-year-old girls? And this is a woman, by the way, who, is held up in the media throughout the years as someone who's a champion for women. A champion for the WNBA. Not a single one of those WNBA players would want to play against a man. Not a single one of those team owners or any team owner of any WNBA team in the nation would want to have to play against a team that has a man on it. But maybe if they did have a man on their team,
Here's what Brandy Cruz exposed that goes beyond this single incident. She revealed the double standard that exists when powerful people violate the rules. Security immediately knew who Celeste Catone was. They knew she was a co-owner, and that knowledge changed everything about how they responded. They went from, if you find her, let us know, to, well, that's complicated, the moment they realized who they were dealing with. This is the same woman who's been portrayed in media coverage as a champion for women's basketball, a champion for the WNBA, someone who invested in the league and supported women's sports. And maybe she has done those things, but that doesn't give her the right to verbally harass teenage girls at a basketball game. Your contributions to the league don't create a separate set of rules for your personal behavior. The irony here is impossible to ignore. The WNBA has spent years trying to build family-friendly environments at its games. It has marketed itself as accessible, welcoming, and a place where young girls can watch professional women athletes and feel inspired. Then you have an owner of one of those teams making young girls cry because they're supporting the opposing team. You have fans trying to trip teenage athletes. You have someone reportedly spitting in another fan's face. That's not family-friendly. That's hostile.
Oh shit, she cooking now. Wait a minute. Damn, Brandy, I didn't know you like that. That was a good one.
Man on it. But maybe if they did have a man on their team, the Storm wouldn't have lost 7 in a row last night.
Damn.
Any other fan in the stadium who would have acted the way Celeste Keaton acted would have been ejected.
Yep.
No question in the world.
1000%. Yo, Brandy Cruz. Here, stir the pot. Keep cooking. Keep cooking. You whipping up a pot or something right now.
Had I acted that way, got up, went and swore at 2 people, let alone children, and made them cry, I would have been ejected and I would have deserved it. But I would never do that because I'm not mentally disturbed and insane. And that wasn't the end of it. And I said last night when I got home, I was so mad. Like my motherly instincts had kicked in. And I was like, I will spare no one. Here's 2 girls who decided it would be a good idea to try to trip one of the team.
Let's address the elephant in the room. This happened at a Fever game. The Fever, as in Caitlin Clark's team. The team that's driving unprecedented attendance and viewership across the league. The team that's bringing new fans to WNBA arenas at every city they visit. And some of those new fans are getting treated like invaders. There has been a strange tension all season between longtime WNBA fans and the new audience Clark is bringing to the league. Some longtime fans resent the attention she's receiving. They resent that casual fans are showing up for Clark instead of the players who've been in the league for years. They resent that the media coverage has shifted. And in some cases, that resentment is showing up as hostility toward Fever fans. But here's what those longtime fans need to understand. The league needs this growth. The WNBA has operated at a loss for much of its existence. Teams need attendance. They need viewership. They need casual fans to become loyal fans. Caitlin Clark is bringing all of that. She's bringing attention, revenue, and new audiences. And if the response from some existing fans is to make those new fans feel unwelcome, you're actively working against the league's growth. Celeste Caton's behavior toward those teenage girls reflects this larger issue. They were holding signs supporting Sophie Cunningham in the Fever. That's normal fan behavior. But to Caton, it allegedly warranted a confrontation. It allegedly warranted bringing up religion without provocation. It allegedly warranted making them cry. Why? What about their signs was so offensive that an adult woman and a co-owner of the opposing team felt the need to get in their faces?